How are we? How are we feeling? Are we present to what is, or are we jumping ahead? How is each day? How's that going for you? I want to know, because it feels like, or it can feel like, each day is a whole year. Is a whole year. So let me know how you're feeling. What emotions have been coming up that you either have or have not been facing? Your belief, your talk, what's going on in the back of your mind, because we're going to talk about a few things around that as well. So for me, it's double. I feel like double the workload on my end, not in a bad way, in the best of ways. There's like 20 something clients booked in just in this week. So me coming on today will be pretty much the only, I think, opportunity I will have to do this with you for the week. So I ask that you be patient while I'm working tirelessly behind the scenes to support and guide those that need that the most at the moment. Hi Melina, how are you, honey? I'm just asking how you're feeling, the emotions, anything here for you? Thank you so much for joining me. And anybody else that does, because in Europe it will be your 7 a.m. now, if you're up that, who knows. But no matter where we are in the world, our participation is so needed, because we're needed and we matter. So thank you. So right now we're going through anticipatory grief. Have you heard of that? Do you know what that is? Let me know. So Melina, do you know what that is? So collectively, this is where we don't know what's going to happen. And because we don't see danger, but we've been told there's danger, we don't feel safe. And so that's either directly or indirectly impacting our energies right now. And there are quite a few sensitive souls in this tribe, those that are empaths, I don't like to label, but like empaths, and you're feeling the energy extra sensitive to that energy. It's quite natural to feel more tired than you normally would, even if you're not, haven't got any fears, haven't got any of that going on. Your body is reacting to what's happening around you. So that's quite natural as well. I want you to know that. Take extra rest when you need to, all of that sort of stuff. So the most important thing for you to know, I want to talk about the anticipatory grief, because that's, every one of us have it. Even if you're like, no, we're good, in the back of your mind, it's still there. Okay? So, hi Kat, thanks for joining. The unknown, we're going to talk about that as well as our mindset. But the most important thing, and I jumped on stories and I shared this, the words lockdown, the words quarantine, the words stay at home, the words shelter in place, all of those kinds of words is actually affecting our nervous system, because these words traditionally have had negative connotations. So historically, they've been used to keep people in their homes during times of crisis, such as war. And then what they've done is they've associated with needing to protection from danger, isolation, and illness. That's what it's been associated with. So lockdown, the word lockdown is used in prisons, when all inmates are locked in their cells to prevent riots or unrest from spreading during an emergency. And that is jarring. It doesn't matter how in your peace you can be right now, those kind of words are still having that negative impact. And so here's my thing, the meaning of certain words are really shaping our behavior. Each word we use is literally being imbued with multiple meanings, with personal meanings that we're making about us, okay? And these are what were given to us, and this is what we're experiencing. And so this is really me encouraging you to stand guard of the door of your mind. And right now, everybody out there is really struggling to adapt to their new lifestyles. They've got children at home, they're juggling. Inboxes and social medias is flooded with tips and tactical advice on how to work online and do this and that, and how to balance your responsibilities and how to protect yourself and all of this, right? Well, I'm not talking about that today with you, don't need to, because my business is not about how to make things easier for you. It's about how to do difficult things better and with grace. And this is the time, because you guys have such a warrior mindset. all of that work is now in action. This is like literally the results of all those years of work that you've done on yourself. Okay? We know, well, I know deep core wound patterns and how to change them. And I teach people, this is what I taught you, and I teach you how to make those psychological shifts that make a significant difference in the quality of your life. Okay, so here's what I want. Absolutely, Melina, grace and ease every way. So here's what I want to invite you to do. First of all, when you start hearing the word, so that one word that you've been hearing or using lately, if it's lockdown, quarantine, whatever that is coming up for you around that, I want you to change that. So instead of being on lockdown, and then that what happens in our body is there's a feeling of trapped, like your freedom's being taken away. Try replace it with grounded. How does that make you feel? Because the term grounding, if you look it up, I'll read it to you. The term grounding is literally, this is what it really means, because it's getting you out of your head and into your heart space, okay? So it's about being rooted and firm, like a strong tree that weathers any storm. It's a phrase that beckons us to walk away from the noise of the news and to tap into the things that make us feel human. Love, joy, connection, planning, dreaming, and creation. So that's what grounding is. It's not about the freedoms we've been stripped of, but the freedom our undistracted hearts now have to relish in. Now we go in. This is really about getting those internal foundations really strong. Okay? This is where resilience comes in. And here's the thing. We haven't even entered the eye of the storm. Okay? So right now is the time to shift your emotional pattern, because this is what's going to shape your decisions, your actions, and your life. Create choice instead of reaction. Create opportunity instead of hardship. Challenge the beliefs that are coming through. Write them down in simple third grade language and question them. It's so simple. Just do it. Get out your journal and start doing that. And you could be working and it comes in. Write it down and question your beliefs that are coming up around it and take your power back. Okay? And then the unknown. So how to even deal, right? Because that's the anticipatory grief that's coming in. That's the collective that we're all feeling. Hi, Carola. Thanks for joining, hun. Because it's like we don't know. What if like my job gets redundant, or what if this happens, or what if my business doesn't survive, or regardless of how we're feeling in the moment, that's still there, right? And so here's what I want to ask of you right now. What's the benefit of you fearing the unknown? Well, what is the purpose of that being here? What is the purpose of it? So let me know for you, because you're like, oh, there is no purpose, but there is. That's why you're thinking it. It wouldn't even be at the back of your mind if it wasn't trying to serve a purpose. So what is the benefit of you thinking or worrying about the unknown? There's a benefit to it. Let me know what comes up for you. So when I ask that question, here's what comes up for me. There's this thing around our identity. Be ready for it, okay? So that's what's coming up for you, Melina. So there's this thing about our identity. This is what comes through for me, that our identity would collapse. And this is why we can't identify with anything we do. Yeah, so it doesn't knock you off guard. Absolutely. Yep, so it's almost like protecting you or preparing you, right? So that you are. So it's like if it's there, then you can put measures in place so that it doesn't, when it does come, you're good, you're safe. Yeah. But then essentially underneath that, right, is our identity. Because it's easier for us to trust and surrender when our identity is not around it. So if we remove our identity from it, so in a sense, our identity is tied up in our business. Our identity is tied up in our work. Our identity is tied up in that job. So you can see that. That's where our identity is. Like, well, who am I if I'm not this? If I do lose this, what's going to happen? So what do you think you're getting by even holding on to that story, that the unknown and uncertainty is even scary? So I would love for you to question all of your beliefs that says, I don't know. Because these are what will become your breadcrumbs that will guide you back to your wholeness. We use everything to get you free. You are way more than the life you've created. Okay, so let's ground this together. Okay, so let's talk about where it's actually directly impacting on you. So with a couple of my clients that I've already spoken to, for them it's around their job or their business. So the thought was, what if I get made redundant? What if my business doesn't survive? Those were the two biggest things I've heard, the two biggest themes that have come through. Okay, so, or I need my business to survive, right? And what if I have to go and then all of these what if scenarios come in, okay? So I'm just sharing with what comes up with my clients. Just let me know if this resonates for you too. So here's the thing. The fact that you can see what you're identifying with shows me that you're not it. So if you can see it, it's saying, well, you're not that, okay? That's an identity that needs to be questioned. So some part of your identity and self-worth is tied up in your business and your job or your job, okay? Because that's who you've been. Who would you be without that? Who would you be without any of it? Go there, get free with me. And it's scary for the ego to let go into nothing. That's like the ego needs the identity, needs that form of, because that's its job. Its very nature, the very nature of the ego is to keep itself alive. And the way it keeps itself alive is through identifying with everything out there. Okay? But you can create two options, the ego option or the awakening option. So even if, this is for the business people, so even if you're pivoting, adapting, changing, even if that's happening, the ego option is to create a new identity, one that gets you excited, that gets you happy and feeling safe to step into what's next, right? That's still an ego option because you're still creating an identity. Regardless. See where I'm going with this, guys? You know, and so for you, Melina, it's like, well, yeah, I'm being ready for it, so that I'm putting something in place so it doesn't. So the ego is looking for a way to secure its identity. The awakening option is to question our identity. Who am I? Who do I take myself to be? And how I've identified with my career, or in my work, in my whatever it is that I've identified with right now. Right? Does that make sense? Let me know. And then the deeper thing is we don't know who we are anymore. That's the deeper crux of it. I'm sorry, but that's what it comes down to. And when you don't think about not knowing, right? If you don't think about not knowing and you're not thinking about, you know, who you are or what you do, and you live into the actual experience of not knowing, that's where it's liberating. Are you kidding? Oh my God, feel free. Like any definition, any other definition will confine you. It's limiting. Does that make sense? So there's this lived experience in your body, and this is what I want to really invite you into, the lived experience in your body of not knowing. It's freedom. So there's three levels of knowing. There's the mental level, which is that's what's playing out in the fear that's coming up, okay? There's the emotional level, which grabs what the mental level is saying, and it turns into all these emotions. And then there's the gut-lived experience. And when you have the gut-lived experience, you can have a title that comes and goes, a job, a business, a relationship, all of that can go by. It can change, anything, it doesn't matter. There's this rounded well-being that's always okay in here. And you're connected to it. And because of that, you know yourself as this. Does that make sense? That's the deeper level of security beyond ego. So ego that says, oh, we need to prepare for this, or I need to get ready. The one that's looking for security somehow, some way, you're way beyond that. You're back in here. Safety's within, by the way. It's all an illusion. Outside, safety's within you. Okay? Okay, let me know if that makes sense. Good, awesome. And then from this place, we think in practical, having support, thinking in advance, getting specific, okay? Because ego will try trick you. It will come up and it will try create resistance. And so you need to know within yourself, what's the right or the next right intelligent thing to do? And when there's patterns like that, what's it mirroring to me? How much am I participating in this anticipatory grief right now, in this dynamic? You don't need to see the end in the beginning. You don't need to know what's going to happen or not happen, right? You just need to know and take the first step within yourself, your own power. That's the inside out approach to change. Okay, so how can you create that in your life? How can you stretch your capacity to live in the unknown, to really lean into that? A fearless heart, living from a fearless heart, right? Essentially, that's what you're doing, is not about not being afraid. It's not about not worrying. It's not about not being uncertain. It's not about not being in pain. That's not what I'm saying here, okay? But living from a fearless heart means you have reconnected to the part of yourself that is so powerful, so strong, so loving, so knowing, so certain, even with everything uncertain. There's no logic, you can't explain it, you just know, you've just got that sense of that, right? That there's nothing it can't hold. It can hold you in your uncertainty. It can hold everyone you meet out there when they're in pain, no matter how much is actually there. The reason we're here, why this practice is so important, is because we need to live truly from a fearless heart. We have to experience what living from a fearless heart feels like. We have to know who we are when we're fearless. We need to know who we are beyond any of the things that ego is trying to have us be. Who am I, right? When you are unconditional love, that's where you meet you for the very first time. It's not something you can just read in a book. Yes, there's the New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. There's many books out there that try to get you to this point, and you can go and read them. But it's not something you can just manifest from doing that. You have to practice it constantly, and you have to reconnect to that part of yourself constantly. This is you connecting to the soul and experience that deep love every time you need it. Okay? So there's conspiracy theories. Yes, what if it's 5G? Yes, what if this is all a setup? Yes. What if? Maybe it is. I'm not denying it could be. Maybe it all is, right? Here's some tough love, and here's my take on all of that going on out there as well, right? Because that's also ego. That's also needing to look for that sense of certainty, something it must be, right? Tough love. Unless your life is gone, then life carries on. That all may well be, but we just got to keep living, right? We keep living. That's it. That's as simple as that. It's okay if you've got to take a beat to process all of this. It's okay to find uncertainty scary. It's okay to struggle to find your own way of coping, to be overwhelmed. Sometimes with all the changes, the cancellations, the kids, the chaos, whatever is going on for you right now, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. What if, right, you simply allowed that, you surrendered to all of that for a moment, you accepted all of the feelings that are here, you noticed them without letting them own you, right? What if you just allowed and observed the emotions to move through you and tried to simultaneously live in an energy of grace and ease? What if you just keep living? What would that be like, right? Many people are going to discover that fear can pass through us. This is like, we're showing them that. We can witness it, open the gate to it, and let it pass through. And remarkably, being the observer, being gentle with it, you're able to rise above it and move beyond it. You don't need to judge. Does that make sense? So we're all defining what this crisis is going to make of us. And if we aren't defining it, then it will consume us at a very fast rate than the illness itself, okay? Because the illness isn't an issue here. So here's my thing. Maintain your self-care, maintain your positive attitude, be the guard to your mind, the doorkeeper of your mind. Decide to move forward regardless. You don't need to see the end in the beginning. You just need to take steps, right? Stick to your morning rituals. Like, I know so many people who are they're just spiraling, eating shit, not looking after themselves, all of that sort of stuff. Don't do that. This is not a tall order to ask you to look after yourselves. You know what I mean? We cannot stop striving to live, because essentially that's what it's coming down to. Because if we stop striving to live, what does that say about our real values? If we pause our entire life and define this experience as negative, and we lose sight of what's important, what's beautiful in this moment, what's actually blessed, then what does that feel like? What does that say of our appreciation of the universe or God's other gifts in this moment? Here's the thing, many people are not sick, and yet they're also not choosing to live well. And that's hard to watch. And I'm sure that's hard to watch for many of you because you guys are leaders too, and you want people to do their best right now. So if you want to see more compassion and you want to see more courage and you want to role model that kindness out there, be that. Be the centered one amid the chaos. Even if you fail on the daily, right? Months from now, you're going to see all of this work that you're doing within yourself, getting those the foundations of your inner systems strong, your ecosystem strong. The results speak for themselves in how you're being. Right now, the results are speaking for themselves. Okay, so enough preaching. I'm going to drop you into it now. All right, are you ready? You want to get grounded with me? I'm going to take you through a visualization and we'll talk more after. All right, just get comfortable and get centered. Breath is so important, by the way. Are you guys breathing? We don't realize our breath is the biggest gift we can have. It will take you out of anything. It will drop you out of the head instantly. Learning to breathe is the big thing. You'll feel free always from this place. Right, so just close down your eyes. And just taking a deep breath, as always, right into the belly though, not your chest. Drop the breath into the belly. Feel your belly expand on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, let it go. Breathe out the tension from your body, the tension from your mind, the tension from your heart. Just breathe it all out. Breathe in. Deep breaths, hold it at the top and sigh it out. Oh, let it go, let it go. Life is asking you to let it go so you can allow what's meant to be to come in. Just sit like this and use your breath. And out. Let go of all the tension, the physical tension, the mental tension, the emotional tension. Let it go, release it. Fill yourself up, and every time you exhale, just let go and melt a little bit more. Becoming more and more relaxed with every exhale. Becoming more and more present with every inhale. Take one last deep breath and sigh it out and melt into your seat. Just slow down with me for a moment. Just sit for a minute. Becoming fully present with this sacred moment, fully present to what is. Using your senses to guide you to this exact minute in time. Feel your body, just notice what it feels like in your body right now. Hearing the sounds around you, feeling the air on your skin. Just bring your senses, all of your senses into this moment, to my voice, to your breath, to any pain that might be in your body, the seat under you, the warm temperature in the air. Just be here. And every time a thought arises, let it go. You're the sky, the rest are clouds, let it pass. There you are. There you are, right here, right now. Drop your attention to your heart now. Drop your entire focus, your entire breath into your heart. And I want you to repeat these words inside your heart. The words, I am, I am, I am, I am. Allow your breath to pass in and out through your heart. Just be present with your breath and your heart in this moment. As you breathe in and out, caressing your heart with your breath, allowing your heart to soften under your breath. Just notice the color and the shape that is coming through. Is there a color? Is there a shape? Is it moving or is it still? Just get really familiar with it. And bring love to it as if it were a baby. Allow affection to rise within you, caressing that beautiful heart, that sacred, beautiful heart of yours. And allow it just to melt under your breath. I want you to imagine liquid golden light coming in now from the top of your head and flowing straight through to your heart. Breathing gently, the liquid gold that encircles and protects it, washing it with so much love. Let it radiate inside your heart. Let it vibrate. Bringing in the feeling of gratitude to your heart with that liquid golden light. That heart of yours that connects you with your soul. That heart that connects you with true love. That connects you with the universe. With your power and strength, with your compassion and kindness. Just feel that gratitude. Feel it fill you for the gift of this heart. You are so blessed by what this heart has to offer, what this heart has to offer you, and what this heart has to offer the world. Your own sacred, beautiful heart. Breathing in that golden liquid healing light and gratitude. Breathing in that feeling of gratitude, allowing that feeling to become stronger within you. And bringing in the feeling of affection and softness right into your heart. Just breathe it in. Drink that liquid gold directly from source. Allow it to fill you up and spread out in every cell in your body. It's overflowing now, your heart. Let it grow and drink even more. Golden liquid that is permeating every single cell. Gratitude, affection. And allow a smile on your face. And with that, allow joy, the feeling of joy to lift you even further. The ecstasy of joy. Like a child dancing in a meadow. Carefree. Careless too. Feeling so light. Laughing, not a care in the world. Let that joy fill you up. Now you're so open, I want you to breathe in the feeling of love. Love, what expands your heart. So whatever that is for you, if it's thinking about a child, a family, someone you love, Is it connecting to God or the universe? Is it connecting to the awe and the beauty of Mama Nature? What expands your heart? And just allow yourself to bring in whatever images that allow the feeling of love to grow in you. Just breathe it in. How you love. Oh, how you love. Connect with the knowing that you would do anything for that which you love, for those who you love. Bring it in, such affection, so much compassion, so much longing. Breathe it in. Oh, how you love. Let that fill you up. This love that is always here, always present within you. The love that is all-knowing. What you can always call out for, always enter into, always there. Always the same, always unconditional. Always certain and infinite. So allow yourself to lean into this love, to surrender into this love. Let it hold you. Let it lift you off your feet. Let it carry you. You are so loved. You are so appreciated. You are so supported. Surrender. Feel it grow stronger. Feel it grow more powerful. You are that love. And I want you to breathe in the strength of this love. Deep breaths and straighten your back. That golden liquid light holding your head high. Breathing in the feeling of leadership. Breathing in the feeling of power. Breathing in the feeling of strength. Even vulnerability. Breathe it in. The knowing how valuable you are. You are worthy. Breathe in courage now. Breathe that in. Breathe in the courage to be exactly as you are, vulnerable, connected to love through your beautiful heart. You have the capacity from this place of strength, leadership, power, courage, and willingness. Be what you came to be, to hold yourself through your fearless heart, loving fearlessly, always asking for the highest good of all, speaking for the highest good of all, being in service of the love for the highest good of all. Your fearless heart is the heart of a warrior of love, so powerful, so soft, so courageous, so compassionate, so strong, so kind, so dignified, and so humble, knowing that you are of service to something so much greater. You are serving love as a warrior of love. You spread out your arms. Breathe in the strength, the power, the leadership, the courage, the softness, the kindness, the compassion. Breathe it all in. Every aspect of love. And now I want you to imagine you can hold the whole world in your embrace. And that liquid gold that is flowing through you is pouring from your heart down through your hands as millions of people enter your embrace. with all of your power, all of your kindness. Embrace them. See their pain. See their fear. And feel your heart open to compassion. Knowing that there is nothing you won't do to make them feel better. There's nothing you would do for them. For them to experience peace and love instead of the pain and the fear that is here. Just hold them close to your heart. And allow love to work through you as if you are serving love. Fill your feelings up, love, and just hold them. Let them know how much you love them. Every single one of them, from soul to soul. No judgment. No one to serve more or less. Just love them. Hold them. This is what you are capable of. There is nothing you cannot hold in love. You can hold the entire world, even yourself. And when you allow, when you surrender, when you're willing to let love work through you, just return to your breath and the room where you sit and move your body. And at your own pace, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you. May you remember what you have to offer, that you never forget how loved you are and how much love you have to share. That you never forget how strong you are, how powerful you are, how such a leader you are. And that you take your place as a leader now. And that you know, with this knowing, this certainty of I am, you're able to be that fearless heart that you are. Identity removed. Okay, it's being the change and procreating a world based in love. Cool. So I'll just look at the comments. Oh, I love that quote, Melina. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Exactly that. Exactly that. Be the guardian of your mind. Be the doorkeeper of your mind. For me, my update for you guys, this is what it looks like for me right now. I'm working harder, but not in the way you think. It feels so good. I'm so much more focused and on how to serve this world and my industry, and yet I am still in my peace, and yet I still practice my morning rituals and my beautiful habits, and yet I still allow myself grace and rest. There's work, and then there's harmony. And in fact, there's very little good work when detached from harmony or in flow. It happens here, the inner work, right? So crisis often reveals who we've been training to be and what levels of self-awareness and personal power that we've chosen or not chosen, right, to develop in the past. So this literally, how you are now, is based on all the training that's led you to be who you are today. Okay? So not everybody chooses, and this is really a choice. You can choose to engage crisis, the situation and energy surrounding critical moments, right, with maturity, or the full activation of your intention and your abilities, your strengths, and just using that. Okay? Does that make sense? So I hope that does. Let me know if you have any questions, and then we can wrap up. I think that's all I'm going to say. I think I've covered what I need to say. That's enough, I think. So how are we all feeling? Any questions? Anything we need guidance on? Otherwise, I'll love and leave you. Thank you for joining me. It's because we do this, and the more we do this, the more we really stretch our capacity to feel all of that, the easier it is. We get out of our own way and we show up, which is the best thing ever. All right, I'm not getting anybody coming through now in comments, so I'll wrap up. I love you all. Have the best week. And I know that we're still entering the eye of the storm. Just stay present to what is. Stay in your peace. And question any other belief that has you need that sense of security or safety. Okay? Bye for now.